So we're seeing a more balanced market right now. And what I'm telling my sellers is that you have to be really perceptive to what the market's telling you. You have to price accordingly to the comps in your area, and you have to be a little bit patient and be willing to negotiate. All right, guys. Can't believe that we are in March already. Time has changed though. That is awesome. It's going to be sunny longer, days are getting warmer. But February numbers are out for the Nashville market, and we're going to do this market report just a little bit different because I wanted to dive in on some specific areas in Nashville specifically, just so you can see how different markets work. And we can even get a little bit more micro than this, but we're just going to go off some zip codes. Okay, so we're going to look at Davidson County as a whole, 37211 and 37220. 220 is Oak Hill, 37211 is like South Nashville, and then Davidson County as a whole. So, right off the bat, first thing you can see is just how much higher Oak Hill prices go in Davidson County. Great lots, a lot of new builds. Um, we're seeing, $2+ million sales price over there. And it is a very popular spot for doctors, business professionals, and all that good stuff. So, but more so than the average price, we just kind of want to look at what the trends have been doing year over year. So, the bottom line here, the red line is going to be 37211. The blue line is going to be Davidson County as a whole. And then the green line up top is going to be Oak Hill. And so the first thing you can see from February 2024 to February 2025, the average sales price in Davidson County last month was $706,000. 706. In 2024, it was 688. So seeing an increase. And 37211 last February, 489. Last month, $532,000. And then in 37220, we saw 1.3. And this past month, $2,093,000. And over last month, what we're looking at is in Oak Hill, we're still seeing an 11% increase in purchase price average. 37211, we're up 4.9%, and Davidson County is a little flat. So three very distinct markets, a little bit more moderate price growth. It's actually been relatively flat, just up and down through some seasonality for 37211 and Davidson County. 211 also hovers a little bit slightly under the average price of Davidson County as a whole. So it is a good market for first-time home buyers to look at. And then 37220 has just still been on a steady rise. So you can see that, even from last year, all the way through this year, we've seen a constant increase in price in that 220 zip code. Let's look at closings. So Davidson County, we are on this downward trend of the amount of closings that we are seeing. 37211, pretty flat. There was a slight decrease through November, December, January. Saw a little bit of a rebound. And then again, Oak Hill down there, just pretty steady. So if we're looking at Davidson County, this top line here in February 2024, we had 544 closings. And then last month, we had 548 closings. So flat. So we'll call that flat. Over last month, we actually had a decrease of 4%. And then in Davidson County, or sorry, in 37211, we had 38 closings. And then last month, February of 2025, we had 42, so only up four. And you can see we are up 7% from January to February. And then in Oak Hill, seven closings versus 10 closings. So slightly up year over year, just barely. So I'd call, closings pretty flat year over year. New under contracts, pretty flat year over year. And then let's look at the month supply of inventory. So Davidson County, we're sitting at about a 5 month supply. 37211, the red line here, we're sitting at a 4 month supply, and then Oak Hill at a 3 month supply versus last year. You can see we're up ever so slightly in Davidson County, and then in 37211, we're flat, and then 220, we're actually down quite a bit, about a month's supply of inventory. I think we're finally starting to see a little bit of the settling down. The market has remained strong in price. It's remained pretty resilient. Even though we have some ebbs and flows, we're relatively flat. But in some markets like Oak Hill and some other ones, we have seen a drastic increase in the purchase price. And a lot is because these new builds are pretty expensive, and that's where people want to be. And our month supply is starting to build ever so slightly, but it's kind of hovering around that 4 or 5 month supply. So for 2 years now, we've talked about how we want to accumulate more inventory, and we are, but I don't think we're seeing that accumulation as much as we would have liked. So we're seeing a more balanced market right now. And what I'm telling my sellers is that you have to be really perceptive to what the market's telling you. You have to price accordingly to the comps in your area, and you have to be a little bit patient and be willing to negotiate. And for the buyers out there, we have not seen, people keep asking me like, when's the market going to fall out, or what's the best time to buy? The best time to buy on the market is when you're able. So if you're comfortable with your payment, if you think you're ready to take on the responsibility of a house, now's the time to buy. And if you can't stomach the payment and the interest rates, then and get what you want, then wait. But there is a cost to waiting, right? So it's always a good time to jump in the market, get into some appreciation early, and know that any buying decision right now, I think, is a 5 to 7 year plan and not like a 2 to 3 year plan like it has been the past 5 years, which is what housing should be anyways. Also, there's a lot of sellers right now paying for rate buy downs, and there's some incentives in there that we could actually get your rate down. I just am closing on somebody today. I got their rate down to 5.99 with a buy down. So rates are setting, they're actually decreasing a little bit, and it's going to open up, I think, a pretty busy spring selling season, and summer selling season for all of us. So would love to run numbers for you guys in particular, but just want to do a brief overview, and we will get you moving. Thanks.